Well, welcome to the 10 Weather Impact Show on this Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Justin Gehrts.
And I'm meteorologist Aaron White, and it's starting to become an interesting afternoon. We got the nice warm temperatures. We got up into the 70s, some places into the low 80s now, getting a little sunshine, and now we're watching some storms already.
Yeah, I had a little batch move through around the noon hour in
Yeah.
central Ohio. So some of that has moved off toward the east. Now, technically, Crawford County, northeastern part of the county, still under a severe thunderstorm warning here at 2 o'clock, but the storm itself has now moved east of that area. But northern Ohio still dealing with some of those stronger storms coming on by. We'll be watching for additional rounds, though, going into the evening and early overnight hours, at least potentially. It really depends on what happens off to our west. Here's a check of the live radar. Again, this batch of storms is moving out of our area up toward the Cleveland area here in the next little bit. But a sign that, yes, these do have some energy to them, and anything that might pop up between now and this evening could be a little rambunctious, but it does look like the best chance is going to be near or after sunset. Most of central Ohio is now in that level 2 risk of severe thunderstorms. If anything is severe later on today into early tonight, gusty winds are the main threat. Also, the level 3 risk is off to our north. That's the main zone of severe thunderstorms. We're going to be watching out toward eastern Illinois, central Indiana, and whatever heads our direction thereafter. Then for tomorrow, northeastern Ohio, which does include a little bit of our area, does include that level 2 risk of severe weather. Again, gusty winds are the main thing we'll be watching for if those storms get strong enough. And then on Thursday, as a front approaches the area, much of the region does have that level 1 risk of a severe thunderstorm. Again, mainly watching for strong winds if these do turn severe. Could be some hail if everything works out just right, but these are going to be mainly wind producers should they get strong enough. All right, so through Thursday, we're going to have these periods of rain and thunderstorms. There'll be a lot of dry time in there, but there'll be also times that some scattered activity does pop up. So what you'll need to do is just make sure you have that 10 TV app. Check the radar on there to see what's going on before you head out. If you're going to be doing anything outdoors, just in case there's something not too far away, you'll be ready for it. Now, let's check out that hour-by-hour forecast, as again, we have those batches of thunderstorms moving off toward the north and east. There probably won't be much until later this evening into the early overnight hours. And again, it really depends on what happens off to our west. After 8, 9 o'clock, we may see some of this activity move into the area, and then as the night goes on, it falls apart and moves off toward the east. This scenario, not a guarantee, but it is a distinct possibility, again, depending on exactly what happens off to our west. We should see a lull tomorrow morning, and then more activity redevelop later in the day, most likely, as some of the scattered thunderstorm activity does redevelop. And again, there is the off chance of maybe some gusty winds primarily out of anything that does develop. It's kind of a tricky situation because one round of storms will determine what happens with the next one, and if everything goes a little bit differently than planned, then that affects what happens as well. So you just want to stay updated as we get the details from one round to the next kind of figured out here. Now, even outside of any thunderstorms, there will be those breezy southwest winds gusting as high as 25 to 30 miles an hour from time to time today. They'll back off tonight, then increase once again for tomorrow. If you've been thinking we've had a lot of these blustery days, you're not wrong. Since March 1st, we've had 25 days with a top wind gust of at least 30 miles an hour. Through today's date, that's the most on record. Back to 2016, we had 22 such days and 20 days back in 1977. And these numbers go back to the early 1970s, so it is a fairly decent amount of time we're looking at here. The average, by the way, would be about 12 days, so we've had a lot of gusty days out there. Looking outside right now, a lot of the clouds have broken up. We're seeing some of the sunshine out there, and that'll help be some of the energy for any potential storms later on today. Now that the sun has come out, the temperatures have really taken off. We're at 80 degrees, and there's enough moisture out there. We actually have a feels like of 81 degrees. Yeah, it is feeling a little humid for mid-April. Out the door right now, we've risen to 80 in Lancaster, 80 in Logan, 84 Circleville. Off to the north, where we've had the clouds and some more recent rain, it's still 70 in Mansfield, 74 in Mount Gilead, 76 right now in Marion. But it looks like 80 plus is going to be common across much of the area. Today's record high is 86. 83 is our forecast. Then for tomorrow, record is 84 and currently expecting 84. So we are going to be coming close to that, if not tying it. Best rain chance in the next few days comes up on Thursday as that main front comes through with a stronger disturbance, so more likely to see some activity that day. 79 there, should be dry on Friday, 79 once again. Then for the weekend, Saturday brings a chance of showers and some thunderstorms as the main cold front plows through with 82 for a high. Then early next week, much cooler. 50s for highs Sunday and Monday, so get ready for that. But
Yeah.
intermittent rain and storms for the time being.
Sure, it's gonna be a bit of a difference having those 50s back in the forecast here by Sunday and Monday. But you know what? Still not bad. We don't have the really cold temperatures. We don't have 30s for highs or 40s, anything like that.
goodness,
So
yeah.
at least we're looking good. And I do want to mention, you talked about that storm up north in Crawford County. That warning has now been expired for Crawford County itself. That storm moving off to the east, so moving away from us. But we'll have to watch for more later on today. And while we're talking about storms and risk for severe weather in our forecast, so for the next few days, in other parts of the nation, strong storms have already been striking.
Yeah, millions of people across the central part of the U.S. could be at risk for additional dangerous storms today. Now, back on Monday, tornadoes and large hail hammered parts of 11 states. Now, in Ottawa, Kansas, apparent tornadoes left behind fields of debris, tearing walls and roofs off of structures there.
And then in Wisconsin, severe thunderstorms overnight knocked out power to tens of thousands of people. And in southern Minnesota as well, hail plummeted and pummeled parts of the roadways out there. Just
looks like snow.
Wild. Yeah, it does look like snow in many areas. And I was actually watching some of those storms up around Faribault, Minnesota, just dumping a lot of hail.
All of the snow and hail just showed up. It was crazy.
You could see it brewing and everything, so I pulled over and just watched it.
And then up in northern Michigan, flooding reached the first floor of some homes in this neighborhood after melting snow and 3 inches of heavy rain caused a nearby river to overflow.
Wow. Now to more on that flooding out of Michigan, as parts of that state are preparing for even more rain. This is video taken yesterday in Sheboygan, where you can see the significant flooding there already. Now, families are prepared for possible evacuations as the flooding risk there increases even further.
And now on to some different weather. We're inching towards summer, of course, but skiers on the West Coast are still soaking up the ski season in the Sierra Nevada mountains of California.
Yeah, sunshine comes after heavy snowfall over the weekend, creating perfect conditions for locals just itching to get to the slopes one more time after all the winter weather whiplash. It's been a rough season for Sierra ski resorts, with only 2 still open.
And skiers and snowboarders agree the unexpected flurries may have turned into the best storm they've seen all season.
It's bittersweet. I think all of us were in summer mode, had our dirt bikes out, we were fishing, having a good time, and now winter is full blown back.
I feel like when these sparse storms hit, everybody just got shocked because everyone was coming up to chase it and no one was really used to it by that point this year.
And before the recent snow, the Sierra snowpack report came back as the second lowest on record. So nice to see at least a little bit before the season ended.
Yeah, a little bit more moisture for them as well, where they've been hurting for it. And meantime, on the East Coast, snow piles in Maryland are finally melting. Take a look at this massive snowcrete pile lingering in Baltimore. These piles are created from snow collector plows during the winter months. But now with significant melting, the piles of debris and trash are revealed. The pile is pushing as tall as nearby streetlights. Oh, that is some nasty
wild.
snow.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't really want to really think about that. But hey, at least the snow's melting, and then they can clean up the rest of the stuff. And of course, now that we're getting into the spring season, and thankfully soon summer on the approach, temperatures are warming up, and you may want to think about is your air conditioning working?
Yeah, I know that our neighborhood, some of the ACs have been going, and without regular upkeep during the wintertime, it's a good idea to do a seasonal maintenance check. Experts say routine maintenance can likely help you avoid costly repairs. Worn out belts or clogged filters may seem minor, but they could turn into a bigger problem down the line.
And another reason to get your HVAC system checked out to boost energy efficiency, make sure your system is working harder than it has to, just to keep your home cool, and plus regular maintenance of your system can also improve your home's air quality. Industry experts recommend doing HVAC maintenance twice a year before winter and summer.
Yeah, always get the reminders from our thermostat about changing the filter to make sure that's not working too hard. Well, another thing to get ready for in the springtime is allergy season.
Of course.
That is certainly going to be getting worse here in central Ohio in the coming weeks.
And of course, forecasting changes in pollen counts can be tricky, but new research being done by Duke University students is hoping to change that. Ben Tracy with Climate Central reports.
Deep in the woods of North Carolina,
We're in Duke Forest.
The different labs come out here and do so many different types of research.
a Duke University science team
There's also a camera on top of that thing.
is setting up an unusual device.
I mean, it kind of looks like R2-D2 or something.
Yes.
Oh, okay. What is it doing?
It's sending lasers in every direction, back and forth.
We're hiding while it scans the forest?
Yes.
Student researchers Tate Commission and Ivy Gong use this laser scanner
The smallest detail you can see from this machine.
to build highly detailed 3D maps of the forest, capturing individual branches, leaves, and pollen-producing flowers.
It's like a big panorama.
And it could lead to a big change in how we forecast the stuff that makes us sneeze. The pollen counts on our phones rely on a network of about 50 rooftop collection sites scattered across the country. Inside these canisters, pieces of tape trap pollen particles, which are then counted under a microscope.
Right here, ragweed.
It's a method that hasn't changed much since the 1950s.
Realistically, that's not very accurate. The hope of this technology is to make a very detailed pollen map, especially for urban environments.
How much time do you spend checking the pollen forecast?
Every day.
Kristen Klein could use more accurate allergy information when spring arrives in Raleigh-Durham.
When your eyes are almost swollen shut, it's a problem.
Her symptoms are so bad,
How's it going? Good to see you, Dr. Johnson.
Good to see you too.
she came to the Duke Health Allergy Clinic
Are you ready to start your allergy shots today?
to give her defenses a shot in the arm.
Thank you.
I think we can do some allergy testing.
Dr. Sarah Johnson says she's seeing two big changes.
So we are seeing patients come in earlier since the pollen seasons are starting earlier, and patients' symptoms are more severe than they have been in the past.
That's because our warming climate means spring comes earlier and fall frosts arrive later. Climate Central found since 1970, 87% of analyzed cities have seen their growing season expand by about 3 weeks.
Now all these trees and plants have more time to do their thing.
Yep. Every year it has been worse.
A high-tech forecast won't wash away the pollen, but it could help answer her two constant questions.
How bad is it going to be, and how long is it going to last?
For Climate Central, I'm Ben Tracy.
All right, turning now to our already active wildfire season. Another fire broke out Saturday in Dixie County, Florida, along Highway 351 there. That fire has burned down about 950 acres as of Sunday afternoon.
I was actually watching this fire just east of Naples on the near the interstate there through Alligator Alley, and roadways in the affected area were briefly shut down. They're now fully open, but officials warn of heavy smoke in the area. The cause of the fire remains unclear, and so far no injuries have been reported. Fire officials say the fire was 20% contained as of Sunday afternoon. And just kind of wild to see, because of course they have drought conditions down there in Florida, and seeing these fires really flaring up.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see more of that until their wet season really starts to take hold. And when it comes to fighting those fires, officials are always looking for new tools to help fire crews stay ahead of the embers.
And firefighters in Napa County, California just got a new device that will help guide them during a fire emergency. Cornell Barnard explains how it works.
Obviously, there's two ways opening these: with the code, or also breakaway locks.
Eric Hernandez from CAL FIRE showing us what's inside this big red locker off Sage Canyon Road in St. Helena. Its contents could help save homes and lives.
This map will give us some numbers. We know that we have the location of 78 structures.
It's called a beacon box, a veritable treasure trove of vital maps and information to help guide first responders to the right roads, gates, and water sources, especially for mutual aid crews arriving from out of town, unfamiliar with the area.
Typically, when we send engines up without this information, they're running blind. They're not familiar with the area. And so it's going to take a minute for them to identify, do we have proper fire department turnarounds? Do we have any hydrant systems?
Community nonprofit Napa Firewise Foundation is expanding the Beacon Box network to 24 locations to cover every battalion unit in the county. The boxes in yellow are currently being installed. The red ones are in development. The weatherproof fire stations will be pre-positioned at fire-critical sites, many of them historic staging areas like the LNU Lightning Complex fire in 2020 and others.
It's really important for firefighters to know what's out there before they get into an area under fire conditions.
Mike Wilson says along with real-time fire information, the beacon boxes can help reduce uncertainty and get fire crews exactly where they need to be, saving precious time.
Anything to get information, that's always the key in a disaster, is is common communication, information. It really helps make an incident much more manageable and lowers the unknowns and the stress that the public feels.
And finally today, let's check out this new video into us here at 10 TV. Going back to the storms earlier this week, check out this view from space.
Yeah, pretty cool sight to see all the storms that developed yesterday, moving those storms that actually had some tornadoes moving across the upper Midwest. Just yesterday, satellite imagery of the storms was posted on X by the Cooperative Institute for Research in the Atmosphere, and showing just numerous flashes of lightning. And you can see those storms tracking across southern Minnesota, northern Iowa, parts of South Dakota, and into Wisconsin. I was talking to my sister yesterday because there was a storm coming into the Sioux Falls area, and I was like, hey, heads up, you might get some hail.
Yeah.
And then like 2 minutes later, she's like, yeah, hail's coming down.
Oh man, yeah, that's rough. And those flashes are actually detected by the satellite. It's like a lightning mapper that's part of the satellite. So not just detecting clouds and that sort of thing, but it can actually see the flashes from up in space.
Yeah, just a dramatic video there. Really cool to see it, just see it from a different perspective.
For sure. And back down closer to Earth, here's a view of what some of that lightning looked like in Lawrence, Kansas on Monday. Amazing views here of severe thunderstorms moving through the region there just after dark.
Yeah, that's really cool just to see those storms. And those were pretty intense too, the ones that were moving through parts of eastern Kansas. Again, this one near Lawrence just showing all that lightning in the sky, likely looking pretty far away from Lawrence itself, but you can see even the outer edge, the anvil, and I think there's even some modest clouds there.
Yeah, those little bumps hanging down there. Yeah, very cool there.
Yeah.
And that I don't think that's any kind of like sped up or time lapse type thing. I think this is like
that's
real
just raw video.
I think I think it's like real time by the looks of just that pan and everything. So that was a prolific lightning producer there.
Yeah, and one final piece of storm video. This is from the Denison, Minnesota area, where they were slammed by severe weather on Monday afternoon, bringing strong winds and hail to parts of the region. This video from WCCO taken in Denison just shows all the conditions there, and you can see just all that hail. Looks like snow covering the ground, but that's hail.
It's also interesting to see the fog that developed because, of course, they had all the moisture, but then the amount of hail that fell cooled it down such that you got that fog to form, which is just a very bizarre looking scene.
Yeah, I was actually watching some of this yesterday, just north of Rochester, Minnesota. Some of the cameras there were showing all the hail coming down on the highway, and then all of a sudden you see the fog kind of develop as it really, dramatically cools from the low 80s down to probably the 50s and 60s.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, it was a sharp drop if I had to guess. And now our final video today. One more look back at the Artemis 2 mission. New video shows a closer look at the hatch opening of the Orion spacecraft as it was opened by Navy dive and medic teams last week.
Yeah, this mission has just been phenomenal, just to watch every step of the whole mission, from the launch itself to them going up through space and getting closer to the moon, and then of course the splashdown and being safely recovered. Just really cool. I mean, I feel like this is the mission that's really, sparking a lot of interest for a lot of people, not even just ourselves being interested in space, but for many people and younger kids getting that interest now in science.
Yeah, our daughter watched both the launch and the splashdown, and who knows how many kids are going to now go on to a career in anything space related, whether it's engineering or aerospace engineering. I mean, there's so many things they could go into that are related to space that this may have sparked their interest.
Yeah, and so we'll see how things go, especially with the future Artemis missions. I know the next one coming up, Artemis 3, in middle of the year next year in 2027, and then of course Artemis 4 is the one where they're hoping to actually land on the moon, and going to be watching those next missions very closely, but also watching our forecast here closely. We got that storm up north that's heading towards the Cleveland metro, away from us. Thankfully, that warning for Crawford County has expired, but we got some more storms coming our way.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on things, especially near and after sunset for any storms off to our west that may roll our direction. Otherwise, it's a warm one for us today, 83, 84 tomorrow with additional scattered showers and storms. Better chance for everybody comes up on Thursday and again on Saturday.
And we'll be watching it, and that'll do it for us here on 10 TV Plus. Coming up later on this afternoon, Chief Meteorologist Chris Tomer will be in with the latest forecast, also watching those storms as we go through this evening into tonight, and of course later on this week. So until then, you can catch more news and weather online at 10tv.com.